The Irrational Confidence Podcast. The USC Men of Troy, they're playing the LSU Tigers. LSU, at time of record, is a 4-point favorite in this game. Fresh, we're going to talk some about the offense here, but really the major question for both of these squads is which team can improve on the defensive side of the football. What do you got between the two of them?
Well, first off, life after Caleb, life after Jaden. Two
Right.
quarterbacks, high draft picks, very, very talented players. They're gone. Now it's Miller, Moss, and Garrett Nussmeier. Not the same kind of quarterbacks that they're replacing, but they both have experience. They both have actually gotten game time. They've looked calm and proficient in their offense, but you're not going to have the athletic leg version of that offense that's going to be extending the game. It's going to be a little more pocket presence. How both these coordinators, how both these offenses evolve around that different change, because Jaden Daniels was the leading rusher for LSU last year. It's unheard of that the quarterback at LSU is the leading rusher on the season, and it was by a wide margin over the rest of the backfield. Who's going to step up and replace him? Is it going to be Josh Williams, Caleb Jackson, somebody else on the depth chart? Who's going to take over that rushing role? And how's that offensive line, which is very, very good right now, Senior Layden, dictate the pace of that football game? Nussmeier had experience. He's thrown some balls before, but now the pressure's on him to lead win. And with the defense that was terrible last year, if they don't improve, I don't think he has enough ammunition for himself to get the offense to a point where they're going to win a bunch of football games on his own alone. They've got to have more of a balanced team. They've got to have more of a collective effort from LSU's perspective. Looking at USC real quick, Lincoln Riley. I know in the preview, you are what you are. You are a Hollywood marriage. You're a celebrity, dating experience. You're basically J-Lo and Ben Affleck. It looks great on the outside, but there's a lot of issues going on underneath the surface. Caleb on that offense just couldn't pull it out. They didn't show up in big games the first year. They lost to Utah in the Big 12 title, Pac-12 title game. Then lost to Tulane. Last year was a abysmal season across the board. Defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. Have you solved all those marital relationship issues internally in this program and got yourself through some therapy and be able to move around? Is that because you hired a new DC, you brought in some new players from the transfer portal? Or are those lingering issues still there and you're just trying to mask it? That's what I want to see in this football game. We saw it at Oklahoma. Great offense, terrible defense. We saw it the first 2 years at USC. Great offense, terrible defense. Are we going to get the same product here? Because right now that's your MO. Great offense, high control for winning quarterbacks. We put up tons of points, but we can't stop anybody. If you can't stop anybody in the Big Ten, you're in trouble. Their offenses aren't as great, but the games are still going to matter, and you're not going to be able to stop anyone. You're still going to lose. This is a game right here where you have a chance to go out and beat LSU, beat an SEC football team, and make a statement that you have fixed your problems and you are ready to play with the big boys. If you get blown out or beat, same old Lincoln Riley, same old USC. It's all flash in the pan, and there's nothing there. That's what I want to see. Zachariah Branch, Deuce Robinson, wide receiver. The two of them, how we get them involved in the offense. Barry Alexander's the center of that defense right there for USC. Who else wants to show up? How does the defensive coordinator get guys in place? He had a great defense at UCLA before he came across town. How does he get them involved and on the same page to execute against LSU offense? LSU, CJ Daniels, Kyron Lacey at wide receiver, Mason Taylor at tight end. Very, very good offensive line. Will Campbell at left tackle is the number one player there, in my opinion. It's your story now. Guys are gone. Jaden Daniels is gone. How do you take over and dictate? Do you run the football a little bit more? Brian Kelly's offenses in the past are a little more run focused than they were under Jaden Daniels. So to get back to that philosophy of we're going to grind it out. We're going to play 3 yards in a cloud of dust, 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Use our receivers when we need to, but we don't live off the passing game. Change the culture. Control the ball. Control the clock. Let your defense rest. Harold Perkins Jr., your freshman year, you were absolutely untouchable, dominant player. Last year, you got moved positions. You were invisible. Going back to middle linebacker this year, how do you become an all-pro? How do you become a top 5 draft pick, top 10 draft pick, all-American player again? I want to see your athletic ability. I want to see you hunting down running backs, making plays on tight ends. Where is your ability? You can show up and get this Tiger defense back on pace and up to its standard. This is how LSU teams can be in good shape. If you, again, do not make plays, LSU's in trouble. It's up to Perkins to get that defense on the same page, ready to go. I got a feel we're going to have a lot of points in this ballgame. I don't think both defenses are going to be settled in just yet. I got a feel we're going to have like a 35, 31, 38, 35 kind of game. I trust Garrett Nussmeier more than I trust Miller Moss, and I'm going to go with LSU from that factor alone. But it's going to be a battle. It's going to come down. It's going to be a lot of excitement on a Sunday night there in Vegas. A lot of cool experiences. But in the end, LSU squeaks it out and just gets by USC.
First, Fresh, this is the first time that we've talked LSU football and you didn't mention the smell of bourbon and crawfish going on. It's in Vegas. I get it.
The smell in Vegas is a lot different. This is more, there's stuff out there you don't want to smell.
Yeah, the casino oxygen right there. You need that casino oxygen to stay awake for sometimes some of these games that are this late. Fresh, for me, for LSU, besides the defense, and again, I could go on the defense and say you hit it right with Perkins there, but another name that I'm watching is Savion Jones and seeing if he can be that dominant defensive end for the Tigers in a football game like this. Is he able to get after Moss, and is he able to really be a wrecking ball from that end position as well? But for LSU, really on offense, I know Nussmeier, who I want to say, like, I don't know why, but I want to always call him Doug Niedermeyer from Animal House and just be like, is that pledge fin on your uniform? Like, wow. I don't know why he has that name that I want to change that, but I'm trying so hard not to make that mistake. For me, it comes down to Josh Williams and Caleb Jackson, the two top running backs for this LSU team. LSU was known for having this elite running game for years. For years, they had this just dynamite running game. And you take a look at what they did last year with Jaden Daniels, and it was this dynamite passing game. And he was their leading rusher, 1,100 yards last year. You got to replace that. The easiest way to replace that is not because Nussmeier is not a quarterback that's going to be a running quarterback. He is a little more traditional. He's a little more pocket passer with that. So a guy like Jackson and Williams, they can really take a lot of that pressure off. And what happened to USC last year? They would get gashed on the ground. They would have to bring extra men up into the box. They'd bring 7, 8 into the box, trying to stop the running game. And with Nussmeier, you do have the arm talent to throw the football all over the field. I look at USC, and I am picking against USC until you prove it to me. That does not mean I have this ultimate confidence in LSU and what they're doing, because I need to see them make the improvements on defense. Like, that defense was Swiss cheese last year. You take a look at games, they're having to win games 54-52 or something like that. I need to see two things. I need to see LSU run the football, and I need to see LSU play better defense. I see those two things. I'll jump on board LSU as being a legit contender in the SEC. I got LSU winning this football game. I agree with you, Fresh. Ton of points in this game. I didn't even look at what the over-under is right now. Oh, I'll have it real quick here. Over-under is at 63.5 right there. I would be tempted to take the over on that one pretty easily. Fresh is going way over the over. So I like this game a lot. But again, I think LSU is going to walk away with the W.
If USC wins it, I think then they become a contender for a playoff spot.
Right.
Because that shows that, all right, they at least they were able to win a big game, and they were able to get themselves under control. If they lose in an ugly fashion, it's not going to get any easier for them. And Lincoln Riley's going to have to do some soul searching.